All right, welcome to the North Fork Experience, the podcast where we explore the journeys of exceptional individuals and businesses shaping our communities and industries. I'm your host, Kirk Hayes, and today we have a dynamic husband and wife real estate duo from Lancaster County, known for blending construction expertise, a passion for historic homes, and a commitment to old-fashioned service. Please welcome Joe and Tara Heller.
Hello.
Guys, it's fantastic to have you both. Let's dive right into your North Fork experience here. Joe, you bring over 15 years of construction background and a deep knowledge of Lancaster County, while Tara, you have a background in content creation and a love for history, especially historic homes. How do your individual strengths complement each other to provide a comprehensive and unique service to your clients?
Well, I would say I learned a lot from my grandfather. He was a farmer, business owner. I learned a lot from him. He would say, go figure it out, kind of thing. He would get after it then, and I learned that from him. Just the old-fashioned hard work mindset. That construction background made a big difference with me. It feels like that's been a while ago now. I kind of gave that up. Even the part-time construction side jobs, gave that up numerous years ago. Probably because it's a young man's job too. Especially on days like today.
Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead.
I've loved history since I was a little girl. Growing up in this area, there's lots of, just a lot of history being close to Philadelphia, Gettysburg, just Lancaster and Hershey in general. But then when as I got older and he got into real estate, I just really, realized my love for historic architecture and just like the stories that historic homes tell.
Yep. Yeah, it's certainly a unique thing. Every time I'm in a real historic home like that, I just wonder, the old expression, if the walls could talk, and that's just so true in a lot of those historical homes like that. And we have a lot of that here in my small town too. It's called the big thing when you come into town, historical Brookville, and there's a lot of really old buildings here and stuff like that. So it's a really unique place, and you just wonder what all happened in some of these buildings that you walk into, and you have that opportunity. So I can see that. I can see that appreciation too. So, Joe, your business is built on integrity and serving your clients' needs and desires. Tara, you emphasize being a trusted guide through big life changes. How do you ensure that this shared client-first philosophy is consistently delivered across every transaction? And what does old-fashioned service mean to you in today's market?
Well, I believe I was put on this earth to serve people. So that's what I do. I serve people, and as a result, I get paid. That keeps me grounded. I remind myself, hey, what are you doing here? That keeps me grounded in that instance.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, and you make sure that people understand what they're signing.
Yeah. For very early on, I tell people, hey, don't sign this, even though I'm telling you to sign it. I want you to understand, because it solves a lot of problems moving forward. Solves a lot of hiccups. My goal is to have a relationship after this. You're not just a transaction. It's build a relationship and see how we can connect in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think communication is one of the big things with that too. You like you said, you don't just want your clients to sign something because you said to sign it. It's important that you communicate through all those steps in the process, so they have a good understanding of what they're signing, not just, hey, put your name here, to keep the process moving forward, so to speak. So a good said, go ahead.
It just shows when I come across first-time home buyers that have talked to other realtors. Things aren't always explained to them correctly, so I make sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Tara, you mentioned that real estate isn't just about the transaction, but about people, stories, and making big life changes with someone you trust. Can you share a specific example of how you helped a client navigate a particularly emotional or challenging transition?
Man, can you think of a specific?
The older generation who lived in a house for a long time, it is very emotional for them. We've been able to help couples transition from their house into that retirement home, or we see a lot of a younger retired couple moving to where their kids are now to be with their grandkids, and that's becoming pretty popular. It used to be the other way around, but now parents are following their kids because of their professional jobs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, they sit home and they want to stay there, and we're finding, retirees are setting themselves up very well for retirement, and now they have options to be able to go where they want.
Yeah, I think that's such a big thing as far as the emotional component. When you have a a retired couple that's been in their home for a long time. You just get such an emotional connection to that area and those walls that you're in, that you've been in for so long. I can see how that would be just really difficult to make that change and make that move, as well as first-time home buyers, because it's such an emotional thing when you're taking that big step. It's probably the biggest investment you're going to make in your life. So there's certainly an emotional component to that as well.
And even dealing with estates and I'm blanking, the executors.
Yep.
Or the kids, and dealing with the father passed away, and dealing with family dynamics with that, and just helping guide them with that.
Yeah, I'm sure it'd be really difficult getting everyone on the same page in a situation like that, and sometimes you really have to work through that, I'm sure, to ensure that everyone is having their needs met when something like that happens. So it's a difficult process for sure. So switching gears here a little bit, Joe, as a Lancaster native, how does your intimate knowledge of the area help you identify hidden gems or unique opportunities for your clients that others might overlook?
Well, I mean, I'm not afraid to drive anywhere in Lancaster, because when in the construction field, you drove in these back roads, you get to see these beautiful places. So I got to enjoy driving around Lancaster County and surrounding counties as well. So, when I have a client say, hey, let's meet up, sure, let's go for a drive. I'll drive anywhere. Even though it takes time to get there, they're my clients. So that's where they need me to go. I go.
Yeah. And I'm sure with that construction background, you saw a lot of what was happening in some of those smaller communities, that other people might miss when, say you got into some new construction, maybe that, you can see some of those trends before other people in the real estate sector might be able to catch on to those things too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Tara, with your background in content creation, blogging, and social media coordination for historical societies, how do you leverage digital platforms and creative storytelling to market properties and connect with potential buyers and sellers in the Lancaster market?
Just thinking of creative ways to showcase, things I love, things I care about. I love telling stories, so it just comes out kind of naturally. Mm-hmm. And, I just kind of, as the spirit moves, I create the content. So
yeah, and that's a great way to look at it too. I think, when you're working with stuff that you truly enjoy there, I think that passion really comes off, and people can sense that you really have a joy and understanding for what you're putting out there. And so I think that's a really good method for where to go to kind of let the spirit move you, as you said there, and go to what truly makes you smile there and everything. So that's really great.
I don't chase trends. I try not to chase.
Yeah, it can be enticing sometimes to chase those latest trends and get kind of a little bit out of your comfort zone and out of your niche. But yeah, I think once you stay kind of focused a little bit more there, it can really help you out in the long run. So you both work with first-time home buyers, relocating clients, and families finding their next chapter. How do you tailor your communication and marketing strategies to effectively reach and serve these diverse client segments?
Well, I mean, for me, I get annoyed when someone does not respond back to me with a phone call, a text. So when I get notifications on my phone, I have to remove them. I have to call that person back or text them back, because it annoys me. Yeah. So that's how I stay on top of things, even when I'm probably not supposed to, when I'm with the boys.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be really important, when someone's trying to contact you, that first contact can really mean a lot. And, when you're attentive to that, it can, it shows that potential customer that they're going to, that they can count on you, and you're going to be there for them, and you're going to be responsive to their needs. So I can see the importance in that for sure. So Joe, with your construction background, how do you advise clients on the potential of a property, whether it's a historic home needing renovation or new build? And what's one piece of advice you always give regarding home inspections?
Yeah, I mean, so I have to be careful, obviously, because my license is not in construction anymore. So I have to give advice. I don't point out every negative thing, because that's not my role. I kind of guide on, a first-time home buyer looking at a house. I say, hey, this is something you might want to look at. You make your decision on, how it's going to affect you. If you can overlook it and take care of it yourself, that's fine. I can give advice on a range of pricing of what's going to cost to do something. When I look at a house, my first eyes go right to the roof. Okay, what's the edge of the roof? That's a big deal right now with insurance companies now, denying an insurance coverage on a house, especially when you're getting to 10 years left on the life of the roof. The market is changing to where buyers are able to get home inspections, that our sellers are allowing that. We're not as competitive, which is definitely good for first-time home buyers, because most first-time home buyers, they want a home inspection, and I understand that because it's a scary purchase. So we navigate that. Maybe we can get creative on what a home inspection looks like. What are you worried about in this house first? Yes, you want a home inspection, but what are you worried about? Where's your mindset on what you're able to cover yourself if something goes bad? Having that conversation up front.
Yeah, and that's just super critical, having someone with that experience that can, look through a house and see some of the, maybe some of the big issues that, you could potentially run into that, an untrained eye just doesn't see. I know when I bought my first home, my uncle's a contractor, and that's the first thing I did was call to him and say, "Hey, I'm going to go look at a house. You want to do this walk with me?" And it was, it gives you so much more confidence when you're. For me, it was, I wrote a check out that was like 2.5 years of work there. And I'm shaking when I'm writing it out, but it still gives you that confidence, that someone experienced has taken that walk with you and can say, "Hey, this is a good, solid property," so it's just such a critical thing.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a client where I told him not to buy the house
Yeah.
because, and he, and then he tells everyone else that because he appreciated that upfront advice.
And that's maybe the most important thing there that you said. When you tell someone, "Hey, maybe you shouldn't buy this house because of X, Y, Z," they have confidence in you right away. They know you're just not in it for the sale and the commission, because it would be easy to put them in that house that, is maybe not structurally sound, but that goes a long way for your reputation down the road. When someone says, "Hey, Joe was really upfront and honest with me, and, he missed a commission because he told me not to buy this house," but he's someone that you can really trust. And, that's such an important thing in a market like yours. So working as a husband and wife duo in real estate, what's the biggest advantage you find in combining your professional and personal lives? And what is one challenge you've had to overcome to make your partnership so successful?
I'll let you answer that one.
Well,
that's a good idea, Joe, for sure.
What are you trying to avoid? We know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we can, bolster or whatever, help each other out. Yeah. Just whatever, divide and conquer, whatever he's good at, which is definitely real. I mean, obviously all aspects of real estate just about, but, and then like, I guess I notice like what the woman would notice.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And helpful too, to like kind of fill in the gaps there. So, but we wanted to have a business together since we, the first time we got together, and just the Lord has let us business, and it's a family business too. Our boys have gotten involved, and we're able to take them too, especially with COVID. That has changed the industry a little bit as far as real agents go and their, how they operate their business. So, yeah.
You want to take a stab at it too, Joe? Got anything to add?
She'll remind me, "Hey, take pictures of what you're doing." I'm like, that's what my mind goes to.
Yeah.
My mind is focused on, okay, what am I doing here? What did that client say? I got to write that note down, and then I'm ready to leave. On the next appointment, I'm like, "Oh shoot, I was putting a picture of that, what I was doing." So I try, but sometimes it doesn't always work out that way.
Yeah. I feel like me and you are kind of alike in that scenario. I actually have my own laser engraving and CNC plasma cutting business too. And a lot of stuff with me, it's just get it done, get it out the door. And my wife's always like, "Stop and take pictures of everything, document everything, social media." And I'm just like, just get it out of here.
I guess that whole construction background is a great to me. Just go to the next task.
Yeah, exactly. And my actual background, I was an engineer in the oil and gas industry for a long time. So it's, just kind of, I'm more analytical and just, hey, try to get things done and move on to the next thing. And, it's easy to overlook some of that important stuff, and it's good that you guys have that to, bounce each other off, hold each other accountable to some of that smaller stuff too, that I'm sure that really helps. So Tara, you're active in exploring charming local neighborhoods and old homes. How does this continuous exploration help you stay ahead of market trends and identify emerging opportunities for your clients?
I don't know how to answer that, to be quite honest.
Yeah, understandable. Yeah, it's I think it's one of the big things that's important in that aspect is just always being able to, to look around those new areas and see what might be happening before maybe some other real estate agents get to it. Because I know Lancaster's a really competitive market down there. I've spent a little bit of time out in Eastern PA. I'm, a Westerner, but not much. And it just seems like it's so much more competitive in real estate out there than it is around here. So, I can see.
I mean, Lancaster's always the last to come into a trend and the first one to come out of a trend. We're just so well set up with the way that people are moving in here. Real estate's been this way for way before I got into real estate. It's always been steady.
Yeah.
One thing I have been noticing, I think, is the melding of historical and modern too around here. So that's like the only thing I can really say about that.
Yeah, it seems like a
see
lot
that.
of people want that historical charm, but they don't want to get rid of those modern amenities that we've grown so accustomed to in the world right now, and how fast everything happens. And it's just it's nice to be able to blend those two. And I'm sure your construction expertise helps in that a little bit too. You might see things that others miss, where you say, hey, we can keep this nice, maybe have a nice historical staircase or something in a building. So we can keep that, but we can work around updating a few other little things that's going to make the house a little bit more modern too. So looking ahead, what key trends or shifts do you anticipate in the Lancaster County real estate market, especially concerning the demand for historic homes, new construction, or the integration of technology and client communication?
Yeah, I mean, the new construction here is tough for buyers to get into because the taxes are so much higher. It's crazy the difference of taxes on a new construction. So it's conversations that we all have right up front. Okay, what do you want to do? And there's good home builders around here, plenty. So I mean, that's one of the things.
Do you guys find people that you come to you and are pretty dead set on finding a historical home, that has that age where they could walk into and have those conversations like we talked about before, like, oh, I wonder if the walls could talk? Do you find people that are super interested in that and they don't really want to look other places, or is that something you don't see very often?
I think it's a mix. Like if a good one comes along, that like I'm thinking of Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably a smaller percentage because older house, you're going to have costs involved.
Yeah. Yep.
Life of of owning the house, and sometimes they begin to look at those houses and then they realize, not really. I want that no maintenance kind of a thing.
Yeah. Yep.
These houses, and it's you have to be prepared for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, as you brought up before, it's so nice to have someone that's upfront about that and has seen the construction and knows the cost of the construction when they're, you can maybe let them know, and hey, this house has these issues and it's going to cost this much money in the next 10 years to, tackle these issues that have to be, stuff you just can't ignore. That's you're going to run into regardless down the road here. So, yep, it's just one of those important things, and it's just all about communicating with your clients and making sure they have the most information on hand to make the best decision for them. Well, Joe and Tara, this conversation has been incredibly insightful, showcases your complementary strengths, your deep local knowledge, and your shared passion for helping people find their perfect home. Your North Fork experience offers powerful lessons on building a successful real estate business through integrity and genuine care. Thank you both for sharing your journey with us today.
Thank you, Kirk.
Thank you.
Before we wrap up, for our listeners in Lancaster County who are looking for a trusted husband and wife team with construction expertise, a love for historic homes, and a commitment to old-fashioned service, what's the best way for them to reach out to you or learn more about the Heller team at Realty One Group Unlimited?
I mean, the best way to get a hold of me is just giving me a phone call, a text, 717-278-4882. You can share about our socials.
Yeah. So Joe is at joe.heller.realtor, and I'm at Historic Home Huntress.
Excellent. Now, we will make sure we include those details in our show notes for easy access. That's all for this episode of the North Fork Experience. A huge thank you again to our incredible guests, Joe and Tara Heller. And thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep experiencing all that our communities have to offer. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirk.